Who's ready for some spicy cranberry glazed ribs? Let me show you how easy it is. All right, the first thing we want to do to get our spicy cranberry ribs going, of course, is get them out of the pack. You can see we've already skinned the membrane off the back. Now these baby backs have a little bit of a hump right here, a little bit of a fat hump on one end. I'm just gonna come right here and take just a little bit of that loin meat, that little bit of fat right there off. That's kind of really all I'm gonna take off of this, not much at all. And I'm gonna kind of square this bone down. I'm not gonna trim the ends of these off. Now I'm gonna come right in here where that hump's at and do the same thing. Now, once you get that little bit out of there, that's about all the trimming I'm gonna do, except for just rounding this edge off like I did that last one. That's all I'm gonna do to these ribs. That's it. I'm gonna get them turned over. I'm not gonna use any kind of a binder or anything. Let's go on with some of our garlic jalapeno rub, and if you don't have it, use any AP of your choice. This has just got a little bit of jalapeno powder in it to kick it up a notch. Now, we're gonna come back with this honey chipotle rub. Get a nice little even coat down. And I pat that in. Now, you can choose to let this set here and sweat in a few minutes if you want. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and get started on the top side. So, come back with a little of that garlic jalapeno. If you just put a light, simple coat, it'll just give you a nice back end heat. All that I'm looking for. Believe it or not, out of all the rubs that we make, I'm not a burn you up person. I don't like anything that's super hot or anything like that. Some people do, I'm just not a fan of it. So get that patted in and come back with this other one, this honey chipotle. Boy, the nice golden color that these rubs are gonna give, I know is gonna look great. All right, once we get it all patted in like we want, you wanna make sure sometimes when your fat pockets here, when they do start rendering out, you notice the rub kind of washes off that a little bit. Well, while it's on the grill, you can always come back and add a little more rub on top of it to capture that color all the way across that rib. That's just a little bit of a pro tip here. I'll show you in a little while what I'm talking about. So, we've got our Camp Chef grill fired up with some roll oak charcoal pellets. Let's get these 2 slabs of ribs on and let them start sweating. We've got our Woodwind Pro fired up, running at 275 degrees. Now I'm gonna go ahead and lay these slabs in here, just like this. Now you can see this fat right here, as it starts to render, that's what I was talking about. We can always come back and add a little more rub on that if it starts lightening up for that color. But let's get the grill lid shut, let these ribs cook. I'm gonna let them go at least about an hour before I even peek at them. All right, so let's let them get some good old smoke bath in here and we'll be back. All right, we're about 30 minutes in on our ribs here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a wood chunk on. You know, that's a key feature of this grill, being able to pull it out and put wood in here and go right back in like that. Now we're gonna get a little extra wood flavor. All right, we 1 hour into our ribs. Look at that. They're looking beautiful. We got a little bit of color here. We'll go ahead and wet them with a little bit of water. Now, you see that what I was talking about as the fat renders, it kind of washes the rub off here. Now, I'm gonna grab my honey chipotle rub and I'm gonna re-season a little bit more of that rib. Let's get the grill lid shut. We're just amping up that flavor. Now I'm gonna give them another hour and I'll be back to look at them. All right, our ribs have been on a little over an hour. Now it's time to make this cranberry glaze or this cranberry barbecue sauce. So the first thing I want to do to get started on this, I've got some Ocean Spray whole canned cranberry. So, believe it or not, my store was out of fresh cranberries this morning. I was gonna make this totally from scratch, but I did get the Ocean Spray cranberry with whole berries in it, and I opened the can upside down when I was out here not paying attention a while ago. So, I'm gonna take about a quarter can of this. I'm gonna get that mixed around in my cast iron here. Now I'm gonna come back with a little bit of competition barbecue sauce. Now I'm gonna come in with about 2/3 of a cup of that competition style barbecue sauce. I'm also gonna squeeze a tad bit of honey in here, about a tablespoon, okay? I'm gonna use some of my brown sugar honey habanero glaze, get a couple tablespoons of that. Now to finish this off, I'm gonna use the juice of half an orange. And I'm probably not gonna use all of that and try to get all that juice out. Now I'm gonna get this mixed up. I'm gonna get this over to my Camp Chef and let it start coming up to temp with the ribs, melting that cranberry sauce and all that. And it won't be long, we'll get ready to use this on those ribs. Because I'm actually gonna wrap some of that rib with this in the wrap. All right, and that's about it. That's gonna be good. Let's get it on our Camp Chef. All right, we are at the 2-hour mark for our ribs here. Let's get the grill lid open. Running around 170 here on this big end. Now I know this small end's gonna read a little bit different. I'm not even checking it. Let's get them off the grill, get them wrapped up, and get ready to make some awesome Christmas themed ribs. Look at that color. We've got our ribs off the grill here. You see I've got some foil. I've got my cranberry barbecue sauce mixture here. Now I want to go ahead and scoop a little bit of this on here today. I'm going to do this a little bit differently than I normally do. I'm trying to impart some flavor in here, in this rib. So I'm going to move that off of the center part of that for both of these. I'm going to lay some down for the face of this rib as well. Not a lot, just a little bit. I'm gonna take my brush here and kind of glaze that up on the back side, get that all wet. Now, let's move that back over in the center there. Let's do the same thing over here. All right, let's wrap it up now. I just put these in a single layer of foil. I usually double wrap. I feel like I'm probably making a mistake not grabbing a little layer of foil, but where these ribs are at in temp already, I'm just really trying to braise them just a smidge in this cranberry barbecue sauce before I pull them back out, paste a little more on it, and tack them up. So let's get these 2 racks of ribs back over to the grill. I'm gonna give them about 30 minutes. I'm gonna check them, see where they're at, and I bet they're gonna be real close. All right, back on. 30 minutes, we'll be back. All right, it's been 2 hours and 45 minutes. I'm not even gonna temp these ribs. You see how that rib's got sag to it there? That rib's done. I could add some comments to that, but I'm not going to. All right, our spicy cranberry ribs are off the grill. So just to recap a little bit why I'm getting them out. Had them wrapped in foil here, and let me go ahead and pig them out. Ooh, look at that right there. That is a beautiful baby back rib. So just to talk a little bit about it, I took some garlic jalapeno rub and some honey chipotle rub, put them on our Camp Chef Woodwind Pro, got it fired up with some royal oak charcoal pellets. I used a little bit of pecan wood, a chunk to go in the firebox of it. We spritzed them with water after an hour. They went about 2 hours. We wrapped them up, and we made up a cranberry barbecue glaze. We took our competition sauce, a little bit of brown sugar honey habanero glaze, some squeeze of some fresh orange juice, and then we come back with some whole cranberry jelly, okay? I couldn't find any whole cranberries to use, so I had to use some ocean spray out of a can. It just is what it is. But I can tell y'all, when you taste that barbecue sauce with those cranberries in it, you're gonna be a little bit blown away. It's just so unique versus anything else you'll have. So let's pick this rib up right here. Look at that, just dripping off of there. That's what you want, that good old rib wave. And when I turn this rib around, you see how these bones right here are wanting to pop through, but they're kind of not all the way? I mean, that's what we look for in a championship style rib, okay? But this rib right here, it's got that wave, it's got that feel, but look, I can even lay all over and look at it wanting to break, just like that. I had to catch it. Tear that bone right out of there. Whoo, y'all. This is something else right here. That is gonna be a good eating rib. Now there's not one thing left to do. You see how easy, the tenderness is there, these ribs broke in half. I can show you the back of that slab. I'm just gonna tilt it up here. Look at this. Tear that bone just gentle right off of there. Some of that loin stays attached. I'm gonna go ahead and make this in my crab leg pool though. Yep, because if you ain't got to crack them, you'd eat a lot more crab legs, right? Let's see how this rib finger tastes. Hell, I wouldn't be scared to run that in a contest. That is money, dude. If you guys like what we're doing on our channel, you better make this recipe because it's pretty darn good. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video. Delicious.